Hello and welcome to Pearl Magazine. Whether you're into pop, rock, cantopop, or jazz, finding and listening to your favorite tunes at home or on the go is easier today than it was in the days of CDs or vinyl records. Despite being outdated by music streaming services, vinyl records still have a strong following worldwide. As Gabi Xu reports, collectors are often willing to pay 2 to 3 times the price of the original when they see something they like. As the border with the mainland reopens, many believe retail and catering industries will recover faster than others. But not many people can guess which particular type of product will have a quick rebound.
At the time, each person asked for 10 or 5 vinyl records. I bought for 30 to 40 people, about 500 pieces of vinyl records. It's worth some $3,000 to $4,000. So spend $3,000 to $4,000 on vinyl all at once. Xu Rong began collecting vinyl in 2019 when she was mainly helping her mainland Chinese friends buy vinyl in Hong Kong. I went to concerts where I got to meet some mainland friends. They play music and collected many vinyl records. I learned that collecting vinyl is a fun thing. In 2019, a Hong Kong record store went out of business, so my friends asked me to buy some records there for them. I visited many record shops and gradually fell in love with vinyl myself. In the 1970s and 1980s, one vinyl record cost about $30 or $100 at the most. Now a single record can set you back $200 to $300. Yet Xu doesn't think this is expensive. I went to so many concerts and music festivals. The ticket is around $600 to $800, some even over $1,000. However, if I buy a vinyl album to listen to my favorite songs, I can listen to them many times. The money is much less than what I spend on concerts. I don't think it's a luxury thing that costs me a lot. Now she often visits different vinyl record shops. Among them, her favorite is Paul's shop. Paul has been selling secondhand vinyl records since the 1980s, beginning as a street stall vendor. For 40 years, he witnessed the vinyl market thrive, wane, and then revive.
In the 90s, suddenly the CD, they came along, and a lot of people, they just thought that the CDs were going to take over. So they threw away a lot of the vinyl records because at that time they thought the CDs were like much better, easier to use. And so they think that the vinyl, the format, is not good. Sometimes you can see piles of records on the street get abandoned and nobody wanted them.
He says at the time people threw away vinyl records, treating them like garbage. But he saw them as gold.
It's a gold mine. These are gold. They are black gold. I will not give them up for the yellow gold because this black gold, they entertain me.
He rented out warehouses to store his treasure, even though it was a huge financial burden.
I want to keep them in a safe place, so I pick them up and put into my storage. But that really killed me because the rent was so expensive. Here in my shop here, I have only like 50,000 records. My storage is 10 times bigger than here. It's about 5,000 square feet. And there it contains.
Luckily, vinyl sales began to pick up again 10 years ago.
About 10 years ago. Maybe because of the internet, they know a lot. The people got educated about the records. And they know that it's a culture. In fact, at that time, I could make some money at that time. And business was kind of good. And because at that time, many tourists could come in. But now those records that I sold for only $10 at that time, now can cost up to like $0,000.
Paul says his business has declined 20 to 30% over the past 2 years because of the loss of tourists during COVID, and also due to a growing number of competitors.
Each vinyl record player has a cartridge. At the tip of each needle installed in the cartridge is a diamond, a very small one. Women love diamonds, and for vinyl enthusiasts, diamonds are their favorite as well.
Some see another business opportunity in the vinyl market. In 2011, Keith invested several $1 million in a shop in Kwaichung selling vinyl record players.
We sold vinyl records for a while as well, but most of the customers we knew prefer to buy second-hand records and already had a large collection. The shop location is not ideal for people looking to purchase vinyl albums too. Furthermore, there are many new vinyl record stores, and the competition is fierce. So we would like to do business with the record player.
In the beginning, the shop mainly sold second-hand record players from Germany and Japan. These players tend to be priced higher than new ones. Now they have more brand new, cheaper vinyl record players to attract young customers.
Before we sold high-end products, the price ranges from $100,000 to several $1 million. Now we've started to sell some entry-level products that cost only several $1,000s. Most people buy those that cost between thousands to tens of thousands.
Keith says his shop sells 5 to 10 record players each month, earning between $20,000 and $30,000 in total. But their monthly turnover can reach millions of dollars. Almost half of the revenue comes from accessories. One bag of bolts and screws can cost several $100s.
Vinyl players have so many accessories: cartridge, tongue arm, cables. None of them is cheap. Those vinyl enthusiasts often buy a vinyl record player first, and then they will upgrade them gradually, just like buying a car. We don't just sell a record player to our customers, we provide lifelong after-sales services.
Vinyl is making a comeback not only in Hong Kong. There's a growing trend among Western countries as well. In 2021, vinyl records saw an increase of 67% in unit sales and 61% in revenue, surpassing CD sales for the first time in 30 years. In 2022, vinyl sales in the UK surpassed CD sales for the first time in 35 years, reaching 16.8 billion sterling.
In recent years, more and more people are interested in vinyl. As far as I know, at least 11 countries have production lines for vinyl records. In the US or in Germany, you need to wait 1 year for new vinyl to be manufactured. In Japan, it also takes 4 months to half a year.
She says Hong Kong's vinyl trend is catching up with that of Western countries. In the past, of all hard copy music sold, most of which are CDs, only 10% came from vinyl records. Now the ratio is 50%.
Hong Kong is always moving fast. You can't take Hong Kong lightly. The city has a good musical sense and is open to all new and old things. That's why we can sell thousands of copies of an old album on vinyl.
When we come back, finding places to farm in the concrete jungle of Hong Kong. Stay with us. Welcome back to Pearl Magazine. A lack of land in Hong Kong means there is very little farming activity. But that hasn't stopped some people from trying to find success in farming. As Gabi Xu reports, creative strategies have allowed some farmers to make a profit from both farming and providing a fun experience for city dwellers.
In Hong Kong, there is never enough land. The government has been searching for a solution to solve the lack of housing supply. Yet, according to the Agriculture, Fisheries and Conservation Department, active agricultural land has been on the increase every year from 2011 to 2019.
The admission fee is $60. If you pay $100, you can explore more activities such as feeding animals and horseback riding. Some visitors ride bicycles here since this place is large.
Farm owners make more money from activities other than just growing crops. They say that's the reason agriculture land has increased.
This place has changed a lot. It started with just over 100 acres, but after 28 years it has grown to several dozen times that size. We own a 3,000-acre eco-cultural resort. Every year, hundreds of thousands of visitors come to consume these fresh organic fruits and vegetables.
This eco-park started out as a lychee farm. Leung later applied for permission for recreational use of land on which he built facilities to attract tourists. Admission fees now account for half of the farm's revenue, and Leung also profits from product sales.
As an example, we charge $80 per pound for picking strawberries, $120 for unlimited eating. Customers can spend hours eating strawberries here. Visitors pay a higher price because they can enjoy the process of picking fruit. They don't sell for that high price in supermarkets, but organic products are generally more expensive even than those imported.
He says he followed the advice of AFCD to develop a leisure farm and planting organic produce. Now the farm ships 10 tons of vegetables and fruit to supermarkets every month. Each day, tons of these organic sprouts are produced.
Over 10 years ago, the AFCD taught farmers to transform the unused farmlands into leisure farms and to plant organic products. It's hard to make a living through traditional cultivation. After the transformation, visitors enjoy picking fruits here and they are willing to pay for this.
Now that he has plenty of visitors, Leung must solve the problem of labor shortage. He even has to apply to import workers.
After all, it's a tough manual labor job, always under the rain or sunshine, not easy to hire people. The government knows this and allows us to employ labor from other places. The ratio was 2-to-1, which means you can recruit 2 Hong Kong workers and then you can import 1. We have imported over 20 workers and we have a few thousand acres of land.
Instead of targeting to become a large-scale farm, many farm operators are actually small businesses. Godfrey runs this 30,000 square foot farm with his family, renting out land to customers.
The main revenue is through renting out the land. So we have got about 180 something plots. And each plots are 3 meters by 1.2 meters, about 40 square foot. So I think 50% of our revenue are from renting out those pieces of land, and the other 50% are from workshops that we offers here.
Godfrey returned to work in Hong Kong 1 year after graduating with an architecture major in the UK. Before starting his farm, he was a senior manager of a listed company. But he missed the days when he could do farm work at his British boarding school.
I used to study in the UK when I was young, and I've worked in Hong Kong for about 7-8 years before I started this farm. And the pace of working in Hong Kong is very fast. I want to do something that's slightly more relaxing and more enjoyable, I guess.
By chance, a relative introduced him to a village head, and Godfrey quickly decided to rent the village's land in Tai Po.
When I came to see this land, it's a beautiful place, and the village head, or the representative, actually suggested that I could do something like this, and it was just a click. I thought, yeah, why not? I think it's a great idea. So I did some research, and it came out a lot of other places that do similar things. They have like a waiting list, so there is a demand.
Godfrey invested $3 million to start the business.
Here was a piece of land been left for about 20 years untouched. So the soil are great, but there's a lot of work to do. There is no electric, there's no water, so there is a lot of kind of construction or things that I need to do here.
We have eaten 7 or 8 dragon fruits this year. Very delicious.
Customers can rent Godfrey's land for 6 or 12 months for $3,000 or $5,000. Sister Hong has been renting this land for 6 years. She says the price is reasonable, as Godfrey also teaches them how and when to plant.
Women like us want to get some healthy food for our children. I want to plant these organic vegetables myself. I got food to eat and I can have fun. The surrounding is tranquil.
Godfrey says his annual revenue is around $2 million, but it took 5 years to break even. While it's not a business with quick returns, he has other gains.
If you're talking about making big money, probably not. Because the initial setup, maybe the cost may be high, and your returns is slow. So from a business point of view, maybe I would not suggest, but if it's from a hobby point of view, or if you really enjoy planting, then it's a great idea. I think why not? You will make some money eventually after a longer period. It's steady, and what you will gain is happiness and health and time with your family.
According to AFCD, from 2017 to the end of 2022, there were 423 applications for agricultural land rehabilitation. And in the first 11 months of 2022, the department assisted 15 farmers in renting about 1.48 hectares of agricultural land. But you don't even need a piece of rural land to farm.
When I first started out, I started off with just my own savings to get this business started, and all I could afford was a small 300 square feet in Cheung Chau Island. And what we really wanted to learn is if there's a market for it and if we can grow it, like growing indoors, growing it in an urban setting. So both of them were yes.
Jessica had this business idea when she was in the food and beverage industry. She began her pilot farm in a 300 square foot store in Cheung Chau in 2017, and then expanded to a 1,600 square foot farm in Aberdeen. They now have this indoor farm in Yau Tong that is 5 times the size of the one in Aberdeen.
We're actually bringing what you would be doing in an outdoor farm inside in an industrial building where it's controlled climate. And the difference is that, especially for a place like Hong Kong where the climate, the temperature and the humidity fluctuates constantly, this allows us to have a much better control. So now that we can control the climate to a certain extent, making sure there is light for photosynthesis for the plants, we can get a very consistent harvest time and the harvest yield.
But there's a price to pay for climate control, a monthly electric fee that can reach $20,000. Yet many investors still think this business has great potential.
In our latest round, we had an oversubscription of over $1 million US. So how did we convince our investors? I think you don't really convince the investors. I mean, you look at food inflation prices, you look at the food importation amount. We have the population in Hong Kong in the density of space, the consumption level on a per capita basis. So having these kind of numbers to quantify what the market looks like and what the future is going to look like, everyone kind of comes to the same conclusion that there's a lot of opportunities here. The question is who's going to be able to be the best player in reaching that. So we raised 1.3 million US. So a lot of it is to build this farm, the capex, and then a good amount of it is to just scale up on the operations.
The farm has over 40 types of crops. None of them is cheap. One leaf costs $2 and one edible flower costs $10. Jessica estimates they will be profitable within 1 year as they have a consistent demand from customers.
We sell to right now are to professional chefs at hotels and restaurants. We also start to sell to home consumers as well. Majority is 90% is for the B2B business, and then the 10% is for the home consumers.
That's our show for this week. Next week, Pearl Magazine will move to a new time slot with new content and a new look. Catch us again on Monday, February 6th at 8 p.m. on Pearl. Bye for now.